For you to maintain your wins, you have to be able to mentally win in the gym consistently. You have to mentally want to dominate your subconscious mind. You have to mentally want to overlap the thoughts that you think you're having that are bringing you down to a certain level that you think you're on. But you have to be able to awaken and be aware of what level you are thinking that you are on, move past that, detach from that thought, and then have a better thought for yourself to mold yourself into being comfortable with your own mindset. It's just like being in the studio, it's just like being in the gym, and you have what it takes to maintain these wins. And we gonna win today. We gonna win today. And if not today, tomorrow. But see, tomorrow's not here right now. So we winning today with this message, with your mindset, with what you already know, with what you think you know. Because what we know about Dr. Malachi Z. York is not what we actually think we know. And I'm not sitting here to make a video hating on anybody's light bearer, if we want to call it that. If you worship him, if you dedicate your life to his teachings, whatever the case may be, I am not here to disrespect your version of God per se. But with these two questions today, we have people who just ask me questions. All I do is provide answers for the people who deserve questions to be answered with. But before we even get into all that, Celestial Rising, Divine Danoon, and Grand Night to the beautiful deity watching this video. It's your Divine Reflection, Divine Messenger. And we are back with another message. And it's about to get very nasty with this teaching. And I don't mean in a way that somebody may think, but I mean in the way of some things that people's minds are not ready to be formed into. Because just for the new people who are new to my lessons or just my open thoughts, just being open minded, because we don't have a closed system of mindsets. Because all I'm here to do is provide information for you. And if you get upset with that, I can't control anything about that, nor do I care about your emotions getting mad because I'm saying contradictions that I don't even care for. But with these two questions for today, shout out to Quentin1423, and that's gonna be on two something. Okay. And Jaw the Kid. I always thought that Dr. York allegations were fake. He has wrote over 1,000 books promoting right knowledge. Could you make a video elaborating on how Dr. York is running a pedo ring? And then Jaw the Kid, peace reflection. Are you dropping a video about Dr. Malachi Z. York? And this is where this is coming into play. Now understand too, I am not here to piss anybody off. I'm not here to offend anybody. And always understand I'm neither right nor wrong. I was in forever because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But every time I tell you that, I'm lying to you. So should you trust me? That's up to you that's up to you to decide. Now, I'm just answering two questions, by the way. When it comes down to what we think we're in, first and foremost, before we ever start Gematria, we have to always dissect the introduction into understanding the language of Almighty God. every First of all, everything is interconnected. Everything is a rabbit hole within itself. That's why I call it the Hydra, because if we go to a Hydra, because we're going to understand the symbolism into what this is. And now understand this too, by the way, because that's actually crazy. But this symbolism is basically because of this. So now imagine. So really now just open up your mind again, because I just had another download in real time. Think about if this Hydra creature or symbolism for this title, because you got to understand what we're living in. For one, we are the observers of a false reality that we think is real, but reality is not real to our spirit. But that's the thing, though. You have to be spiritually in tune with what I just said, because you are the observer of what I didn't say. Because what I didn't say is what you already know spiritually. When it comes down to symbolism, even in alchemy and sorcery. For one, you are born blind. Go look up how much you are able to see through the visible light spectrum. Then when you come back to this video, I want you to understand too that you think that you're seeing these on Google, for example, not really understanding that what you're actually seeing of a Hydra is this, a creature with this many heads that's able to leech off of your energy by being in water. So hard to kill water monster under your microscope. And that's the thing too. I feel like they reside in these spaces to where they have to feel warm about themselves, or depending on the climate, doesn't really matter. But this is something new right here, so it makes sense on where they got the Hydra from, because this like looks like the same exact deity that comes from Roman mythology. So it's like, how giant were these beings in their experience of a Hydra, if we're gonna call it that? Because we just seen a Hydra through mythology, a mythical monster, but now we're seeing a freshwater organism, and we living in freshwater systems as organisms under a freshwater system. Now, once we understand that we are being the molecules, we are being the cells that are stuck in, let's just say, a maze of what our mind wants to be in, but the mind does not want to be inside of itself. The mind can't even comprehend why it's inside of itself anyway. So it wants to go into this different path on its own journey when it's bored, monitoring you or monitoring itself outside of you. When it gets that grace period to get a break from giving you ideas or thoughts, or controlling your, let's just say, controlling your script, because everything is ran off of mathematical codes. When your subconscious mind is doing that, now you're going to be operating in your own script to where your choices will be chosen by your ego or your subconscious mind. Once you're spiritually in tune with yourself, you'll be able to now understand why Gematria is giving you codes in all different ciphers, because there are more than just four ciphers. I just use four ciphers just because it's just that easy. Like, we make things very simple over here. Keep it simple, stupid. Literally. Because you don't have to be a genius to even understand what this is saying about, excuse me, his character. Now, the number that we're looking for is 144. Now, understand too. I put that because in the gematria, I put Dwight D. York, and that is the name that, or the identity that he or his being went by. And I understand too, we are all beings in the Hydra mindset, in the organism's mindset. And the beings that are actually Hydras are that giant. And the thing is, too, the symbolism of the Hydra, we got to understand as well that if, because I don't have a decision on if I think he did or if he didn't, because I wasn't there to even judge that. And for one, if he didn't do that, free to Christ consciousness. But if he did do it, make sure you tie him up, drive him out to the Amazon rainforest, go find a river, and then make sure you put honey extract and jelly, and then put a little bit of sugar and some Swiss cheese and some ketchup, and then pick him up and throw him in the river where piranhas are multiplied every single second. Before you drop him in there, make sure you tell the piranhas, wait. And then when you tell them that, that's when you'll be able to understand that, oh yeah, sir, little bro back. But that's when you'll be able to tell the piranhas, like, hey, wait a minute. This person right here was touching on kids, so do your worst. Piranha's gonna say less. Thank you for dinner. Boom. Drop him in the river. That should be his punishment if he was touching on kids or running a pedophile cult. Now, I say that to say that 144. Now we gotta understand too. What time is it? Let's get that win. When it comes down to Dwight D. York, I just put his name in, and this is what I got. So the thing is, too, you can do the exact same thing in a gematria calculator, because we all have a script. Like I keep telling you on these gematria lessons, we all have a script. Excuse me. We all have a script. Well, we understand that from the year his being came into existence for 1945, this is now helping us being able to understand why the being was able to go with scripts that names and numbers just start to correlate to. For today, we have 144 for Dwight D. York. Now, look closely into what we're about to say, because what we're saying is, for one, a contradiction. You have to be able to be open minded to these teachings, because, for one, I am not sitting here telling you that he did it or he didn't do it. Like I said earlier, my spirit, you better not have done that. And I believe you didn't do that. But my ego gonna say, shit, possibility you could have did it. Because there are many other beings who are writing or designing over hundreds of books, thousands of books at a higher consciousness, teaching the masses and all that. But I understand as well that the deeper you go into consciousness is when you will be charged and thrown with charges such as like racketeering and child molestation, because of how much consciousness you're elevating into the masses. So I do understand that whole dilemma of how they're able to create these ideas or create these identities on the news stations and just the programming in general. My fault. The programming in general. So that's exactly what too. And one of these codes that we have, it was, where did it go? I seen it earlier. Mm, I guess we just gonna go through it because there was one that really broke down. Yeah, I can't. Dang, yeah, bingo. Hollywood programming. Dr. Malachi Z. York pedo code and Hollywood programming. Mine is trapped in the past. So let's go and get into this. All right. If you know about the Arcturians are very enlightened species and deities. And thing is too, we can go ahead and do this real quick. So with these beings right here, and that's exactly why too, even with Google, we can just contradict the information together. But we're not gonna always do that for all the information because that's just too tedious, and we're just doing that for things that, well, I feel like my intuition wants to explain so that we can break it down faster. No, you gotta hurry up, man. We got a lesson right here, bro. People don't got all this time to be waiting and all that. So if not, I'll just pull out the iPad real quick and we'll just do that. That's all right. We don't got time for the technology. So the Arcturian beings, just know that they come from the Arcturus star system. And by these deities even being closely related to his being, that's telling you that a part of him. Now remember the Hydra. So the Hydra is nothing but the subdivided, let's say, tentacles of subconscious streams of consciousness. Now, one tentacle, you got a being doing this here, connected to all of these here. Another tentacle, you got the same exact consciousness going down here. So it's like the wheel of not even just fortune, but existence, the wheel of life when it comes down to the Almighty Creator. The Almighty Creator is putting itself in many different forms of what it wants to be in. And what's going to stop this being from being in whatever it wants to be. And because of that, I feel like a part of him is connected to Arcturus star system because he could have been getting his downloads from that consciousness. Damn, my technology really running slow today. All right. And who wish to share their knowledge and wisdom with the citizens. And see, I like too how even with our, let's say, our search machine, the thing is too, we already understand that, for one, this is not new age because there's nothing new about the age of existence. That's the problem right there. New mindsets in this age cannot comprehend Arcturians or yourself. And the thing is too, they are loving and peaceful beings who are willing to communicate and work with any soul that wishes to travel with them to a higher level of consciousness. And that's the thing as well. So I feel like his being, so if he's an Arcturian as well, he could be a projected consciousness of the Arcturian that is monitoring the scripted character through the entitlement of Malachi Z. York or Dr. whatever the case may be, whatever his name is, right? He goes by many names. Consciousness goes by many names, and we are all made in the image of the Almighty God. But don't forget that Hydra, though. That Hydra that we just seen with the symbolism. Understand that is also still the projection of the Almighty in the subconscious vessel of what we're living in. Holographic life. And I understand too. Holographic life to me means exactly what it says, because we are living in a hollow fractal simulation of numbers and systems. Everything has a number, and these numbers became conscious to the point to where the atoms had to come together to form the physical embodiment of what these cells or these structures are living in. Not even just through all of that, it's like even with this iPad, this phone, just this expo to clean the board, just the keyboard, this measuring tape, all this stuff does not know it's conscious, but it's conscious outside of itself. So we don't know what it's experiencing, but it can experience every single thing outside of itself once we become to be one with everything, because everything is one, meaning that we are made in the image of all these different things. And then once you keep on speaking positive vibrations out into the ethereal mindset of these higher projections of Arcturians, you'll be able to withstand, and you'll be able to listen, and you'll be able to hear and decipher the messages that come from their tele- telekinetic pathways in their mindset, because they actually do communicate with us in our sleep. When we have deja vu, when we daydream, when we're just playing, they do communicate in many different ways, but they hide themselves because we're not really ready for that. The true beast. Now, I think it's too, this can go many different ways. Now, beast could be to the point to where when he did cover, he had a book called like Leviathan 666, which is very interesting. I may want to read that, but he could be exposing the beast system and who the true beasts are. But if you're exposing anything about a beast or who the true beast is, you are projecting who you are into the masses. So you'll be contradicting yourself anyways by you even wanting to come up with something just to even make this make sense. If you even try to make this make sense, even from my projection, it's like question everything, contradict everything, question everything. Because when you contradict this, just know I am an identity. And the Almighty God, the Almighty creation, is creating different things through its identity to even think that it actually died and it was okay to be its own test subject. Understand that we're going to live in a holographic life for the rest of our life. Like we're never escaping that simulation of simulations, because for one, you are the simulation outside of simulations. Like you, when you go above all and you see the absolute level playing field of different values, different infinite eternal values internally, when you see universal codes laid out perfectly, and you see each different subject that's being tested on, you'll understand the dark prison or imprisonment of energies that come from a cosmic order of a calculated host. Because your life has to be bugged when you're the man of Elohim. That's how deep the rabbit hole gets. And many people are not ready to awaken into that rabbit hole because they haven't experienced heaven before death. And the thing is too, excuse me, what is that? Because how did you die and think it was okay? And also remember as well, calculated host correlating to him. So now even with the true beast, now he could have done something. And that's the thing as well. People will masquerade pedophilia when it comes to our people, because our people couldn't believe that. But when we come all the way up to, for one, I think he was amazing. Like if you understand his logo, doesn't matter what, like the secret. So oh yeah, the universal lessons of the Masonic laws, the secret degrees and studies of EA, enter the apprentice. And even when you enter this level right here, you're still you're flashbang. You still don't really know what you're getting yourself into. And if you go into level 2 of being an EA, then it's just like you're willing to keep on climbing the ladders of Luciferianism. And then it says his name right here. And that just to me tells me that many people were, dedicating their lives to his enlightenment, the book of light, enlightenment, 33 degrees. He's telling you, like he's basically, and even about the Eastern Star. And the thing is, too, this is basically Satanism. If you truly study this and you just monitor it and you observe the symbol and you match it with the satanic symbol, that I'll say the Satanists that have evil intent who make sacrifices on this, if you align this with that, you're going to get the exact same image. Literally. And he's telling you through our all seeing eye, our actual all seeing eye before he became put it through a pyramid. That's exactly why the book of light telling you about enlightenment transcending through their all seeing eye that's still connected to our all seeing eye when you're able to be awakened to enlightenment. And then just his establishment, and then two, this is what a picture we got. Hold on. Yeah, a picture right here of just the thing is two third degrees, meaning that he was already at the highest frequency of what they would call Christ. And that would still be Antichrist frequency. So now, if we see Antichrist frequency in his Gematria code, don't get mad at me. Because it's one thing, like I told y'all earlier, it is one thing. And I feel like to a lot of the people who are claiming to be spiritual leaders, what I noticed through this documentary, and I don't think it's a true documentary, but I was watching this, and the one thing that I noticed about that was they were just basically saying he was innocent. That's exactly why all these different things I'm telling you is why I put them in a gematria calculator. And you don't have to believe me because you can say it's just numbers aligning. That's all you had to tell me. If you telling me all you're reading is numbers that are aligned, that doesn't prove anything. That's the point. You're not ready to be awakened into what the script has been basically given. It's like a blueprint. You're literally reading a blueprint about a character that you think has no secrets. So people were literally worshiping Lucifer or giving their energy to Lucifer. That's exactly why they gave him that title of running a cult. And he had his own land with pyramids. And on top of that pyramid is literally killing the soul. But niggas don't want to hear that message though. Aliens made you, and I understand too. We were not made by God, but that's exactly what deities will call themselves, God, because they came from the enlightenment of the Almighty perspective of Elohim. That's exactly why he's a man of Elohim. Don't forget the Hydra though. Understand too. So that's like why aliens made you, because technically speaking, there are a bunch of deities or fallen principalities and dominions and virtues who call themselves the Anunnaki, and then people are getting famous off of this title. But these deities, they were able to be the ones to monitor and observe our simulation that we're in, but their goal is to kill the soul by placing placing false messiahs within. Excuse me, my throat chakra trying to get balanced too. But they place messiahs in our face, and when they commit a stupid move, it's because of forbidden alchemy that they were projecting to the masses. Because by you even going down to those higher, like even going to the third degree, that's basically damnation. Why would you go through the first level of masonry or secret societies? I don't believe in masons anyways, because masons don't exist to themselves. So it's just a society of secrets who has secrecy of secrets. So a mason wouldn't call itself a mason, but the outside world will call them masons. But you've never seen a mason until you see a mason, and they right in front of your face, and you wouldn't call it a mason, but you would idolize a celebrity, not knowing that celebrities are also practicing masonry or Satanism or Luciferianism behind closed doors. What's the difference? They're all the exact same unified family of the same exact Hydra that you would call God. Now, forbidden alchemy, who knows what he was committing behind closed doors? Now, understand too, we are speaking on two different sides. There's one side where this could have happened. There's one side where it couldn't have happened. I'm just letting you know both sides of what I think happened. So just use your mind. It's contradiction. Whatever he did, these higher ups that he was under. Don't forget that picture too, the third degree of him and his books that he came out with. Letting you know that for him to even do all this, you have a dangerous mind because you're spreading forbidden alchemy. Basically saying that you're telling the masses through consciousness about duality that these secret societies have been withholding. And by you even being behind closed doors, you're a Judas to secret societies. That's a stupid move. On top of that, too, your whole existence is controlled by a manager that's above the simulation. That's above the comprehension of this holographic fractal illusion of nothing but codes that come from a, I'll just say a realm of deities who are able to operate and control the puppetery and the puppet mastery of higher realms that go beyond just dark prisons. Because we're literally living in the lower part of our mind because we're not able to sit here and control ourselves and silence the antichrist frequency, because anything called Christ is antichrist frequency. I hope you know that. I really hope you truly understand that. Anything that is considered Christ is going to be antichrist frequency, because for one, when you are at the Christ consciousness for real, giving you free game, Christ, or actually for one, Christ consciousness would never call itself Christ. That's exactly what the antichrist frequency would want. So it had to silence that frequency. Because when you're speaking in antichrist frequency and Christ frequency, when you're speaking in good and bad, there are points in times to where, depending on how viral you go, depending on how much people you know, they're going to want to kill your Christ consciousness because you talking too much. That's how I see this shit going down. But how I see it too, though, whatever you did behind closed doors, you reaping what you sowing. And somehow, some way, Samuel Jackson is connected to this. He is involved. How deep does the rabbit hole get? How many people actually knew him? I hope you know that a lot of this stuff, like even your family members that you don't know, they probably do have masonry in their bloodline too. Somehow, some way, you are connected to a famous rabbit hole. Somehow, some way, somebody in your family tree sacrificed themselves for you to get here because of that light of a dangerous mind of forbidden alchemy. Just to be connected with people who think just like them. Not knowing that the people that fund you, their goal is to kill your soul. And you're becoming so curious of what's outside of you that you're not able to understand the signs of Lucifer. And the signs are everywhere. Understand too, we live in the ego of this title. I don't even believe in Lucifer. That's the crazy part. So I don't believe in good or bad because, for one, this deity running this dimension as the matrix manager, this is the deity that programmed the ego subconscious mindsets to basically tell your ass, yeah, there's good and bad through a construct that I came up with. So basically speaking, if you believe in God, you believe in Lucifer. That's exactly why when niggas tell me, do you believe in God? I don't even tell them yes or no because, one, I know there's a higher power. On top of that, I am that I am. By you even saying I believe in God, you're literally saying you believe in Lucifer, my nigga. Even when you're talking, that is Luciferianism. How deep do you think the secret society rabbit hole gets when it comes down to you understanding who these people actually are? Because slave traders don't even just mean physical bodies, but it means mindsets. Slavery is a mindset. So when you're trading that, what are you actually telling the people that you got locked up for basically life? I don't know, it's 135 years, but code, he is of Satan, of a satanic mindset. Like I said too, and I don't know the truth or the falsehood of this character, Malachi Z. York. But in Gematria, we had to be able to contradict the messages that are being formed by a demon tablet. This is all demonism or demonic spells that we have to righteously discern through the gift of discernment, through a spiritual act of loving all beings, good and bad, with intent. Good and bad don't exist, but it's the attention of the acts that you are practicing behind closed doors, because what's done in the dark will come to the light. So how evil you are behind closed doors and nobody knows what the people around you, if you're funding people's lifestyle, giving them hush money, of course they'll uplift your lifestyle and the evil acts that you do because they don't want to get assassinated. But now when the public sees what you've been doing, now the masses who's been fucking with you because of the being that you always been, which is really nothing but an act of a projection of the mind. When people understand that mindset, now people are going to actually see the signs of Lucifer and slave traders, because it's all an elite harvest of the mind of satanic glory. And the people who are just now tuning into the video, don't even worry about how we got to 144. I'm gonna let you know whose name adds up to this, because the video is about the people that people want to glorify. And some of these people are not meant to be glorified. How I'm seeing it. But understand though, my spirit tells me though, we all have a script. We all have words that are connected to us that may or may not be true. But the words are there because, for one, it may or may not be true. But somehow, some way, it connects to niggas' names. How and why? Who knows? But to me, if you astral project or lucid dream, you are able to now go into different dimensions and transcend mindsets that go above the hexagram of placing your spirit in a lower level of gravitational pulls of streams and strings of mindsets. Archangel Michael and Lucifer, excuse me, understand too, he was probably associated with bloodsuckers. And anything that he was writing or speaking in is a demon tablet because it's all demonic programming. By us even comprehending this video, by you even watching this video, it's all demonic programming through a tablet, literally a iPad, a computer, a phone, camera. It doesn't matter. It's all demonic programmings of the ego, but spiritually, it's the intent behind it. Don't forget the Hydra though. Bloodsuckers. Another thing is too, we live in a realm that is controlled by bloodsuckers, and that's exactly why too. When you drive down the road, sometimes when you're on the bus in your car, you're with somebody, you see those. I say those little miniature trucks or vans that say, donate blood or whatever the case may be, like, or donate your organs. They'll be on the side of the road. Please donate blood. Where do you think your blood goes to? Now you can research it on Google. You can go wherever you want, and then they'll tell you what they want you to know, but it's not actually what you think you know. Because for one, they need your blood and energy to give, I say, amplification to the beings Michael and Lucifer. Because don't forget, these are still siblings of your mindset. If you know about the story of Michael and Lucifer, in my ebook, I talk about how the archangel Michael was able to reveal Lucifer's whole future that we're stuck in right now. So even in the heavenly realms of angels, heavenly beings, these demonic frequencies were wanting their sibling, basically our older brothers and sisters. They wanted our brother to stop creating the game that it was going to create envy in when it came down to us, because we were going to be the mediators to this or these emotions, meaning that everything we're living in comes from this emotional state of mind, meaning that if you have basically what I'm saying is everything is reversed. If you have emotions, you're asleep. But if you don't have emotions, you're awake. But people will say, "Are you bipolar?" People will say, "Are you mad? Are you constipated?" People will say, "Are you upset? Are you depressed? Are you this or that?" People will put or throw titles on you because you don't look how they would look in society. When you say, like, "What's your name?" and somebody gives you their name, they're still asleep. But when you're awakened and somebody asks you, "What's your name?" and you say, and they still ask you, "What's your name?" and you say, "Nothing, I don't have a name," they'll question what you are. You don't have a name, nigga. You a robot. That's ironic coming from your programming. You're projecting what you are onto me. Do not call me names or titles that I don't attach myself to. Because for me to believe that I am consciousness or a spirit or a human or a God or a boy or a son or a father or a mother or a sister or a cat or a dog or a student or a teacher, I will have to believe in these programs from my ego or my subconscious ways of being. Meaning that, for one, if you feel all these certain things that I just said, that comes from the mindset of this Luciferian ego through satanic glory. That's how deep the rabbit hole gets. Don't forget the Hydra, though. Don't forget who is funding this deity's mindset and evil societies. Stop the fraud act. A female in a male body. Now, the thing is, too, there are infinite realities. And there could have been a situation to where transmutation of consciousness, a woman transfer her consciousness into his body to take the fall for him so that he can transfer his consciousness into her body so that he could be able to live his freedom to get himself out of his body, outside of his mental prison, but let somebody else take the fall so that the message can still get spread through another person's body. That's how I'm seeing this, because we don't understand how deep fame and riches get, or abundance. When you have a lot of money, when you have so much money to where you don't know what you can do with it, you can do many different things with money. And because of that, you are able to now buy certain things that the average person would never be able to comprehend. You can manifest and gravitate certain technology for you that's not even for the public. We don't even know if he's actually in prison. That's what I mean too, because prison to some people is not actually a bad thing. Prison to people is not actually prison, but happiness, joy, appreciation, gratitude. When you're hearing certain things about people, you cannot believe everything the news says. You cannot believe everything the north, east, west, and south corridors of your mind says. Because your mind does not know what is going on. That's why spiritually, you have to observe the mind. That's exactly why information and learning will transcend what evil societies have done. And this adds up to what we're talking about today as well. Stop the Fraud Act. Because whatever it is, like I told you earlier too, there are many people, like I stated earlier, there are many false spiritual leaders that I'm going to keep on exposing, by the way. We already knocked down two. This is basically going to be three. But there are many people who are copying his identity and they're committing fraud with it and they're scamming you of your enlightenment. Meaning there are many people who are acting like as if they're in jail or in prison, making phone calls. They're imitating a character who did this already before so that they can get paid behind closed doors to the point where they're actually getting paid behind closed doors physically in their home and not actually where you think they are behind bars. But behind bars could be joy or peace or on vacation. There are some people who are actually on vacation when they should be in prison. Wait a minute, family. I just randomly got on a boat today on a random Saturday. I went to the island. I seen Dr. Malachi Z. York drinking coconut juice and it was shaken up with the lemon on the side. Say you swear to God. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Hold on. Wait a minute. Now you tell the masses that what happens to you? Who sacrifices who? But we don't understand what they're doing. Like I stated earlier, be open minded. These are all characters. We're all beings. When you have a certain amount of money, you can do so many things that the masses will never know. But they'll glorify the character getting allegations slapped onto them. What's the reason for that though? God don't need meat. At a higher consciousness, that is true. But Satan does. Cannibalism. If you eat meat, you are a cannibal. You are literally the lower image of your mindset. So at this consciousness, you don't eat meat. You eat plants. You eat fruit. You will be fasting. This gets you above the simulation, exercising, creating hobbies for yourself, staying focused every single day, finding joy, finding peace, working on a better you, a future you. So to the future me, I'm proud of you, my boy. Let's get this win. Understand too, he is very gay. Now the thing is too, I don't believe in this programming because for one, you had to manipulate yourself to even participate in the ritual. There's different meanings for this, but the thing is though, I don't truly understand how or why it aligns with his code, but there's no such thing as being gay. But there are many situations to where your favorite leaders are actually practicing the same exact sexual acts because if you commit the same sexual rituals, then the person that's buck breaking you is going to be able to prophesize the life that you want in the glitch of a matrix through the Earth's pulse by your reptilian mindset. Because we understand as well that we all have a reptilian mindset of our own. And the thing is, too, is going to look into this. So it comes from the idea that the forebrains of reptiles and other small animals are dominated by certain structures like the basal ganglia. Neuroscientist Paul MacLean's triune brain model refers to these structures as the reptilian or primal brain. And then psychologist Daniel describes the reptilian brain as system one, which is fast, automatic, impulsive, and subconscious. System one seeks out activities that are considered safe and don't require much thought, meaning that you're literally living your life on autopilot. On top of that, if it's subconscious, why do you think people are making videos on these titles right here? That's why I told y'all before as well. Every time you talk about a reptilian, a Draco reptilian, doesn't fucking matter. You are talking about yourself because they don't even exist. And the thing is, too, we can always make videos on reptilians, but these niggas do not exist. If you were to actually see a deity that looks like a reptilian, that's a giant in nature, you'll be looking at yourself. Lizard brain, brain and stem and cerebellum, autopilot, fight and flight. And somebody punches you in your face, what you gonna react to? That's your mindset. Because who is controlling that mindset? Mammal brain, limbic system, emotions, memories, habits, attachments. What's controlling that brain? What's controlling this function of the brain? What deity is controlling that? What spirit is controlling that? When you want, that's why I told you earlier. Even still, with the emotions, how do you think you're actually feeling your emotions through a memory? That's because you're forming the exact same habits from the subconscious mind as being programmed by the human brain. Because of course, when you are programmed to have a language and a thought and imagination and a consciousness, you'll be able to understand the newest part of your brain in the middle. You have to basically use logic with this brain and this brain. You're stuck in this brain. You're you're learning, you're hearing, you're mimicking programs in this mindset because this mindset is like 95% of these mindsets, really 90% of these mindsets. Because I'll give at least 5% to this. Majority of society ain't even using this at all. Now, when you're understanding how deep the subconscious mind gets, this mindset will dominate these two. If and the thing is too, these beings are so enlightened to the point to where they know that your solar energy is all it has right now when you're born into the simulation because you're born with this, but the programming from your elders will, let's just say, diminish you to lay down here. Then when this notices that you're down here, it'll cloud the spirit up here to where you won't be using your frontal lobe. You won't be using that because you're too busy stuck down here receiving downloads from your lower self. That's exactly why it's called reptilian mind because they control our mind. So when people are saying they, we ain't just talking about reptilians. People who are actually awakened, by the way, because for one, they have no name. People can call them Arcturians, Lyrans, Sirens, Anunnaki. You can call them whatever the hell you want. I truly don't care. But this is called the mindset and the spell casting of their language to let you know that when people are talking about them, they're talking about them for a reason. They actually exist. But you cannot comprehend them for a reason. That's exactly why they hide in the shadows of your mind control. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because what does government mean? Anyways, satanic hexagram. I know some people don't understand that. Let's go ahead and get into that too. Satanic hexagram. Now we gotta understand too. To me, this is basically like you can have the masculine, feminine, and it's like an orgy basically. How I see it. That's actually the symbol, right? And the hexagram represents a heavenly macro cosmic or planetary forces and is a symbol equivalent to the Rosicrucian rose cross or ancient Egyptian aunt. Basically, life. You're coming to your senses through life. And the thing is, too, Luciferians adopted that ancient mindset that comes from us. Everything comes from us, literally. The five petals of the flower represent the microcosmic forces of five elements of the magical formula Elohim, the symbol equivalent to the pentagram or pinnacle. Okay. So yeah, basically, yeah. So it basically helps us understand that you're coming to your senses as a smaller version of the Almighty, which is exactly why people who are famous and in the Skull and Bone Society, they're the ones that will enslave other people to their mindset. Dang, this is 44 minutes. I didn't even know that. Sorry, though. Let's keep on cooking. Now, and the stove isn't even cut on yet. Now, when it comes down to this hexagram, you can. So, even why I mentioned orgy earlier as well, because if you are a man who is basically at a Lucifer enlightenment, literally a Lucifer enlightenment, when you're able to fund women's lifestyle and you're able to get them to sleep with each other and you can watch them, you are basically seeing them come to a satanic hexagram. They're going to come to their senses and all these elements by their spirits, because if it's all four of them, the fifth symbol representation of that hexagram is going to be the unified spirit come together. And a lot of men will watch that. And then that man will harvest that energy that they're coming into in whatever space that he's in. And he'll harvest that energy, use it for his own, depending on if he wants to come with them or come without them. Skull and Bone Society connected to him, letting you know that a lot of people who want to get to his level, they entered into a whole different doorway of Luciferianism or secret societies. And Cabal last sacrifice, and the thing is too, who knows what he sacrificed, but we don't know what his possession is. On top of that too, if Lucifer was a slave, it'll be him. Because somehow, some way he enslaved himself to even be in a situation, because what we're going through is what he already went through in many worlds. And the thing is too, we're all beings once again. We don't really know if he's actually in prison, but he could be existing in many other infinite possibilities that we think he's in. So he could be in prison, but technically speaking, he could just be behind bars on vacation, enjoying himself, watching the water, watching the waves flow at his feet. You never really know. You have to be open minded to infinite possibilities of multiverses through metaphysics or even just quantum teachings, satanic Judaism or Judaism. And the thing is too, I just like to go into deeper information. Once I see something, I like to just get myself warmed up, just so I can make sure that I'm on the same page whenever I put these codes. All right. And let's see what we got here. Same works for God, not against him. God is the source of all things, including good and evil. That's a fact. The idea of saying as the force of evil is considered blasphemous by most Jews because it implies that God is not all powerful. Meaning that too, the false, you know, illusion of us, they think of this idea as it being evil. They don't see it as evil. That's exactly why what they do is not deemed as evil to them. They don't see it as evil. So it's like if they were sacrificing women or children, that's not evil to them. That's basically what their laws are. And by them even being so ahead, because of course they were able to jump timelines. So even with the Vatican, that's exactly why when you understand these cabal linings that add up to what's being sacrificed right now, you gotta understand the mindset that aligns with his Gematria code. I am Antichrist. Like I told you earlier with the mindset that he's speaking in. When you silence the frequency, you're literally silencing Christ consciousness. So he's telling you, I am an Antichrist, Dwight D. York. Because once you climb the higher ladders of secret societies, you're going into Luciferianism, Obama Matrix Code. And also, too, wasn't there one that said Obama's caged children? I'm not even going to get too deep into that, but it's not there for no reason. Virtual icon, meaning that for one, on social media, his teachings will live on forever because he's iconic. That's what happens whenever you're working for the Jesuits as a spy. Could this be true? Could it not? But the thing is, too, why did you climb those ladders? Because I feel as if, for one, if this is what I think it is, I feel as if you decided to climb the higher ranks to either expose them or expose the observation that you observe. This is a glitch, meaning that anything that you see going on with him forevermore is going to be a glitch in the system. And he is somehow connected to the rabbit hole of what's going on, what's being exposed with celebrities and just life in general. Rapture Home. And I put that too because they were supposed to, when I went over the documentary, they were supposed to raid his house at like 3 a.m., but they waited till the afternoon. But they were revealing how they were going to treat consciousness whenever you think that you're going to spy on somebody, and then that we wouldn't find out what you were doing the whole entire time. That's what happens when you tell on what you climbed up into. So it's like, did you climb up into the Jesuit orders to expose how Luciferian your message has been the whole entire time? The light is a lie. I understand the book as well. And these two are basically his books. It's like even the Leviathan's name and Numbers speak. So all three are telling you, even in his books, on what he's been talking about. Numbers speak. The light is a lie. The book of light. What are you talking about in this book? And the thing is too, I actually do believe that. That's the one thing I do believe. The thing is too, it's hard for me to actually believe in illusions, right? Because then that'll make the illusion non-believable. And the thing is too, the non-belief of a non-believable title is still believable, unfortunately, subconsciously, but not spiritually. Because what is belief as a spiritual being? Now, the light is a lie. The book of light. And the thing is too, everything in the physical language, everything in language in general is a lie. Because you're speaking it. That keeps you ignorant. When you're not talking, that's how enlightened you are. Leviathan's name, he has a book as well with Leviathan's name, 666, whatever the case may be. Numbers do speak. God hates us all. And the thing is, too, you are enslaved by this mindset. So you're saying you believe in God. Just know this title hates, like titles hate you. That's why hate is a title. When do you think hate came out? Like, if you look up when the title hate came out, this is exactly why this title says, Lucifer or the ego hates us all. Duh. Like, some people wake up and think that they're actually ugly or they're failures. Your ego was born to do that because it's a matrix slave. And we're all fractalized angels believing our own demise anyways. We all believe that we're put into damnation, not understanding that, for one, Gematria is proof that you're not actually in damnation, but the numbers are proving to somebody who's looking deep within on what's aligning with this person's code and what they choose. Transgender cabal, and the thing is too, this could mean many different things. Not saying anybody's a transgender or anything like that, but there are many of them that work for the cabal, even in the industry as well. And the industry has many different roots that we're not able to go deeply into because you can get banned for that or even crucified for talking about stuff like that. But what does that symbolize? And why does it add up to your name? Why does it add up to your name? Crucified women. What many women were getting crucified by even being with him and going through what he went through because they were getting judged as well at the seat of what they were living in because consciousness does live. On top of that, too, I just put this here not even to be funny, but this is here for a reason. How is that aligned with you? How is that aligned with you? That lets me know that somehow, some way, it's very simple. This is your home. No matter what, nothing is really far fetched. Many people think that this is mind blowing, or people would think that this can't be real, it's not true, or it's knocking down walls that you haven't really been in before. But that's what keeps us in idiocracy, especially as the black man and woman. We're stuck in idiocracy because we're not looking closely at who we idolize. That's exactly why numbers speak. That's the best way for you to pay attention to all of us being matrix slaves. Understand everything's a projection as well. That's exactly why I don't judge. But somehow, some way, you are going to be at the judgment seat every single day because it's just very simple. This is your home. Temporarily, see? Temporarily. That wouldn't have aligned with his code, though. So wherever he's at, if he is in prison, that is your home because you were practicing idiocracy. Idiocracy. You weren't looking closely at what you were doing. You got too caught up in the virtual reality. Dwight D. York, Jesuit order. On top of that, too, 144, 144, 153, 153. Adds up in two ciphers. Actually, three, 54, 54. You can't get mad at me. I'm just giving you information. Let's get into it. Jesuit order, we already explained that. And what they are, they're basically the puppet masters for the secret societies under Luciferianism and Society of Jesus, all of that. Astral goddess, I believe that there are a bunch of goddesses that were with him on his journey when it came down to the pyramids and the theme park that he had, but he was attracted to money. By him spewing out contradictions, he was getting paid for it. But where are you? Where are you in the multiverse, though? On top of that, where are you? Literally. And excuse me again. Now on top of that, it's all a projection too of what we are because we are the mark of the beast. Somehow, some way, we had to decode fallen angels because we got to decode ourselves. Before you understand how to decode fallen angels, you have to be able to decode what you think you're living in as an angel as well, because you're also, don't forget the Hydra, you are also the reflection of that tentacle for this higher being. Now, as well with the humiliatrix, if he is going through what he's going through and if these lessons still don't get learned, he'll keep getting humiliated because you're not going to keep on sitting here and having proteges and having them be an illuminator of your messages. So many people who are under him giving lessons that have already been learned, they're giving you the illusion as they're skywalking over your mindset. They literally, and when I put skywalkers too, how this adds up, especially with the illusion. Anyways, as they're skywalking over your mindset, that's literally the illusion because even your mind is the cap of the room that you're in. The thing is too, when you go into your room or any room in your house, step outside your house and then you tell me what's the difference. I'm gonna tell you for one, if I tell you I'm wrong, because me being wrong is still me being right spiritually. Spiritually, if I contradict it, I'm gonna tell you that for one, there is no difference because the room inside of your house and the room outside of your house look the exact same. The only difference is the room outside of your house is just way high up and you have more space through the expansion of your mindset, so you think. But then when you go into your house, you have an enclosed space of your mindset. But the cap is not capped off yet till you peel your mind back into how high you can get in your room in the enclosed space of your emotions. Understand that. Also, sex, which is exactly what I told you too with the satanic hexagram. And just by them even coming to all those representatives of Elohim coming into Lucifer, I mean, I don't know why that aligns with this message, but you could have been manifesting many different Luciferian ways to rise into power through famous people by, and the thing is too, that's what happened. I promise you, I can't make this up. Speaking from experience too, when you have some clout to your name, when you get some bread, when you get to a bag, when people actually know you or see the followers and you look good with your follower count, there'll be women who will just bust it open for you. Even men as well. I can't make this shit up. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm just gonna put it at that. There are many women that I didn't think like, oh damn, I didn't think it was gonna be this easy. No offense to them if y'all watch this video, but this is what happens when you are illuminating contradictions as a spiritual being. It comes with the territory because they deem you as famous. But all you did was kill the subconscious mind. Basically, your Luciferian spirit, because don't forget too, you have a spirit of righteousness and a spirit of intent of evil, or whatever evil could be. But when you kill the ego, you basically wash your spirit, kill the ego. When you're able to decode fallen angels, you can now see why. Because the thing is too, these Jesuits, I feel like as well, for them to even commit their rituals, for them to even get their abundance up for more prosperity, you have to be able to want to commit sexual acts, because these sexual acts will bring in the sensation of women coming to their senses, open a third eye. In order to see what I'm saying, you have to be able to be open minded. That's why when I say open your mind, you have to be able to open up this bad boy. You have more than nine eyes, by the way. So the one thing, your quantum eyes should always be open. Because you have eyes in all the chakra points as well. Like the thing is too, all your chakra points are eyes if you technically want to speak about that too, because not only do you have nine eyes in your the palms right here, your crown as well, the back of your head, you got the heart, shit, a portal when it comes down to your vagina or your dick, the bottom of your feet, your kneecaps. You have more than nine eyes. So you have to actually be careful with being open minded because for one, when you're praising or idolizing a famous person, you are letting this mindset rise because for one, we are all the root of bad evil. Do not forget, this title is a fallen angel. And then we have a period of celibacy or abstinence, you will understand who copied who. Because for one, if you say anybody copied anybody, you basically saying God copied God. Almighty God copied God. Almighty God copied itself. It copied it. You copied you. Life copied life. Everything is a copy of life. Stargates and energy grids. Dr. Malachi Z. York pedo code. Stargates and energy grids. So we gotta understand as well that this being comes from these different Stargate portals because for one, he came from a mother as well and a father. And even with the Earth's pulse, I think I skipped over that, but the Earth's pulse, I understand too that our mother does have a pulsating fixation of her heart, but it gets crucified every single day because people are building satanic structures on her body. So when you see construction workers during the day, when they're getting the bulldozers and they're peeling the land and all that, they're literally like stripping her skin off. So it's like like the grass will be the band-aid of her insides. You peel off the grass and we see nothing but dirt. You pile that dirt up. Now we're seeing the intestines, the organs, the guts, which is basically the dirt once again. We're seeing life being thrown into a pile, being dumped off somewhere so that the Luciferian structure or Babylon can be structured into your neighborhood, your neighborhood, their neighborhood, everybody's neighborhood. They're building basically psychological warfare right next to your home. Because for them to do that, they had to see in the future as you have it in your house. Babylon import export. And then including when Babylon, they were still trafficking kids as well. Money, guns, books, clothes, all that food. They were doing a lot of this stuff. So when you're doing that, all you're doing is just the exact same programming and printing of your code, even back in Babylon. Tiamat reclaims her matrix. Our mother will always reclaim her matrix through her seed. That's exactly why I don't judge people because for one, me judging Malachi Z. York is really like me judging the Almighty Creator. I can't judge that Hydra though, don't forget. Because for one, me judging that is going to keep me stuck in a lower image of what I can't comprehend of corruption in high places. He has a Stargate in his house, meaning that for one, he was probably so because like even when I watched his documentary here, which is very interesting by the way. But the lady mentioned that who was a researcher and an associate for his, she mentioned that he was always coming home and like working on books. He was always focused on books. He was always working. That's the Stargate. The mind is a Stargate, by the way, if you don't understand that, because it's not just like an actual portal that you can see. That's military personnel, so you and I would never be able to see that. But if you astral project, you can be in the Stargate portal of what they're looking at in their household, of their mind. But by him being open minded, by him being tapped in his own space. So basically, you're seeing me go through a Stargate portal spiritually to even give you this message in my house as well, through his house. So as he's making books, I'm making videos, I'm giving you downloads from higher places that corruption will frown upon. The black nobility are to blame. There's always a Blue A Foundation. There's always a Black Illuminati, if you want to call Illumination that or whatever the case may be. But he was just like going out like Malcolm X. Same as that thing with all of our leaders. He's going out like these beings because, for one, human name of angel being tested. Whatever his name is, whatever the being wants to be, is being tested. Will he crack? Will he crack the code? Will he speak up on what he did? Will he just stay silent? Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Only he knows what he did. He has to sit with that. But demon can't be removed from him. That's all I'm gonna say. A demon can be removed from him. Outrageous delusions. And the thing is too, this is like expansion, this is all variety because for one, we don't actually know the delusion of the character Malachi Z. York. We only know what people act like or what they teach or what they talk about. But just know there's a mothership spotted in DC. And the thing is too, he correlates to what's about to happen and what's actually going on because the things that are happening right now have happened years ago. So by people even going crazy or what's going on in the skies, this shit that's happening in New Jersey, New York, just many different states in general. For one, states in USA or the stage of America, whatever the case may be, those are nothing but Shakespearean plays with a mindset. So all they're seeing is projections of beams of hues, and people cannot understand the book of light. That's why this nigga is teaching you this shit. The book of light, letting you know how false the illusion of light can be. Like niggas actually think that the lights are on in this video, and there are no lights in this video. It's still dark in our mindset. because we're not actually introduced into what nobody has taught us. So we're teaching ourselves. But there are motherships in DC, but they won't tell you that because you understand the Morningstar connection. Underground overview as well. I do believe that there are many different things going on as far as when it comes down to secret societies and just intelligence in general, because of course, what's done underground will be done on the top of the surface level of the mind. Whereas the Morningstar connection to his enlightenment, and the thing is too, it's kind of crazy how Lucifer adds up to this character's identity. It's like he was in the flesh because Luciferianism is Masonry, and secret societies, even like the Community 300, the Council 300, Bilderberg Group. I mean, Boulay Foundation. There's many different societies that are connected to these things, but caught between heaven and earth. When you are speaking and just working on yourself, you're bettering yourself, you are actually caught between two dimensions. But when you go outside your mind, you can align yourself in all dimensions, meaning that for one, heaven is a mindset. And when you're mentally in this mindset, you can align yourself in the physical because physically we are all projected to be here. Basically, this whole dimension is a projection. No information matters. Knowledge does not matter. Nothing really matters but the observation of what you're projecting your mindset in because you're already in a higher mindset. Roman Jesuit intelligence. But I understand as well, though. Like I said earlier, even the Jesuit order, skull and bones, all this stuff adds up to the people that y'all idolize. Just saying. Roman Jesuit intelligence. So, how much knowledge did he actually have? Because when you have so much knowledge and you're with the frequency of the Almighty, you're going into different doorways, different gateways, different portals. When you go into these doorways of secret societies, you're going into another mindset. So because of that, you gotta understand how much intelligence he was having and why he was so busy being stuck in heaven and earth. Because demons tell themselves that hell is their heaven because they know that this dimension is their heaven because they not getting to our enlightenment on where we actually come from. They're going to be staying down here in their damnation because they enjoy it. I mean, honestly, the creator does not actually give a fuck on where you go because where you're going is still where the Almighty is going anyway. Denver Airport is satanic. I mean, numbers don't lie. But men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And the thing is, too, numbers do lie in the world full of lies. So what's the truth to these lies? Denver Airport is satanic, and the thing is too, there's a bunch of Satanism going on in Denver Airport as well, and even in Colorado in general. When I went to Colorado, as far as basketball, it was very like not only was it cold, but just the elevation of playing there. It just let me know that there was just more consciousness above the mountain range of the waters that come from the south of where I grew up in. But as far as the energy in this airport, it let me know that there was just more sinister things at play when I was playing basketball because I played against Denver, Colorado college at D2, and the college was across from the stadium of the Denver Nuggets and from the Broncos stadium down the street too. So we were in Metro Denver, by the way. So I think it was Metro. It was Metro something, but when we played against this college team, that's when I felt the elevation. Because for one, not only was it hard to play in their gym, but it was just like there was a weight, not just a weight, but a weight of thoughts over your mindset when you play, bringing us to extinction. And the thing is too is like his knowledge. I mean, it's not to sit here and put the blame on anybody, but what I'm saying is that leading us to extinction, his information, whatever the case may be, these deities love what they put their sacrifice in. These deities love these consciousness of mindsets they love because they're the ones that formed the reptilian mindset that we exist in. They love watching our movie that we create. These deities cannot create anything. Any deity that you see, there's billions of these names. Anytime you see their name, they love to watch our play on our mind. We sitting here thinking that we watching an actor acting a movie the whole entire time. You're watching yourself in a movie of an actor that you never met before, but you want to meet them because they're famous. And you crying for saying this. But his information was leading us to extinction, or was it? Because people believe in this shit. It's like you bash Masons, but then you idolize him, not knowing that he was the highest degree of Masonry anyway, or Luciferianism, if you want to call it that too. So don't cry for Satanists because they're gonna do what they do anyway. Not all of them are bad people, but they're just in a society and they keep secrets from people. And the thing is too, Satanists have a lot of information as well that still pertains to Almighty God. So the thing is too, they believe in God, but they just don't believe in your God. And everybody has a different version of what God is, but all the versions that we have are still flawed. Cryptocurrency code, who knows what he was doing for profit and what he's doing right now for profit. Delete all false prophets, and we can see what happens when it comes down from the illuminated fraternity, because what did he receive in his phone to get him exiled from society and what we're living in right now, the murder kid society? I mean, when it came down to the Nuwabian society that he was in, were there actually children being murdered? All right, and then like we were mentioning earlier, were were these kids murdered in his society of the Nawabians? Because the thing is too, we don't really we don't really pay attention to the ignorance behind the enlightenment, because the deity is so enlightened that we don't know what his phone was or his handler was telling him to do in his phone, because he has a personality of a demon. And the thing is too, we all have personalities of our demonic programming. And the thing is too, who was kidnapped at Disneyland? And the thing is too, this rabbit hole, everything in life is a rabbit hole. So we truly do not understand what kids, not even just kids, but people in general are going through, because they see a celebrity or they see somebody of importance or stature, and then we don't understand they come up missing. We don't know how, because for one, there's corruption going on in high places. Diddy, the abusive murderer, did he do it? Yes, he did. Everything, because for one, good morning, Lightbringer. The Book of Lights. Good morning, Lightbringer. Letting you know about what he's in, how to trick the Matrix. How do you trick the Matrix with the mind? You're able to manipulate mindsets when when you can say something and people are able to change or formulate an opinion or speculate an idea or become better off of what you said. You are tricking and controlling and manipulating the simulation of its own mind, because you're bringing light to the mind of ignorance. Who is trying to ape me? And the thing is, too, I feel like as if too this could be a message in his camp, and it's like, who knows? This could have been in a dark situation to where the person was asking one of somebody in his camp, like, who are you? Like, who is trying to do this to me? But who knows what happened, because all seeing eye of the illuminated fraternity. And the thing is, too, this was a test run. Be afraid. And the thing is, too, we gotta understand where society was when this happened, because this wasn't far fetched from like an experiment, because it was the biggest experiment of our generation. And we're able to decode the sword of the spirit, meaning that for one, the spirit is a double-edged sword. Always remember that. When you're speaking through the spirit in the mindset, you're decoding a double-edged sword, because for one, you're able to orchestrate live channels. Live channels to me means that you are a puppet master controlling the channeling of energies as they speak, as they talk, as they read, as they listen, as they get in tune with an energy of what you're saying through words. All seeing eye of Illuminati, that's the thing too, that's where it came from. Basically, this to me means that secret societies have information that the masses will never know. And all seeing eye is the eye that comes from the Almighty Creator, meaning that for one, the Almighty sees through all eyes that we are not seeing in front of us through foresight. We had to get the foresight and we still can't see straight. Satan, son of Lucifer, is an idea. Think about that. Satan, the son of Lucifer, is an idea. Both of them are ideas of an idea. So what I just read was an idea of ignorance. Because for one, Lucifer is not a father, nor a mother, nor a brother, nor a sister. And Satan is not a brother, nor a mother, nor a father, nor a granddad. It's none of that. These titles don't even know that they're actually Lucifer or Satan. So who's to say Lucifer and Satan know who they are? But they are the son and daughter of the Most High. LeBron James is psychotic, and somehow, some way, this adds up to his code as well. Don't forget the 260. Now I know we deep in the teaching, but this is what I put into the code. We got a lot to go. We're not done. LeBron James is psychotic. How does this add up to Malachi Z York? I don't know. I don't know. But damn, whoever taught us English, you did a great job, huh? Because who stole from our people? So how did our people know this? Understand, he may be getting exposed very soon too, because by him even going through what he's going through, by him stepping down, but then he came back, rebuild the entire matrix, because for one, the universe is a matrix. The universe is a circus. The matrix means a circus, literally. And it's just, you have to enjoy it. But how can you rebuild the entire matrix? For one, somebody has to get crucified for the simulation to get reset. Because our universal perspective is a perspective. Our universal perspective is a perspective of entertainment. Subconsciously, by the way. Interdimensional travel paradox. I feel like he was going inside of simulations, inside dimensions. He probably had much access to many different contradictions, things that many people would kill themselves to even listen to, because for one, real Lucifer Incarnate and is named, telling you that these deities that had Judaism or Christianity, or why he was changing so many religions, this was the actual Luciferian deity incarnated and named itself Dwight D. York or Malachi Z. York. Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. Somehow, some way, many celebrities are connected to the people that you idolize. The realm of fame, the realm of information, the realm of just God in general, the world is basically small. But Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. That's exactly why, too, he's a part of these societies also, because they're all greedy internet scammers. Because this blueprint was pre-incarnated. So, like, this shit, it sounds and looks bad, but it was a pre-incarnated blueprint. So this shit was going to happen no matter what. That's why they're imprisoning all media deceivers, because if you tell the truth, that's deceitful on social media. But if you tell a lie in reality, that's deemed as righteous. When you tell deceit to the reality outside the internet, that gets praised. But when you tell the truth on deceit, now we gotta bash the truth. What is the truth when it comes from fallen angels' consciousness? Everything that Malachi Z. York is going through is imprinted into his DNA, because he's literally an incarnate of the Book of Light. Don't forget that book. Also, don't forget the Hydra either. I'm gonna keep saying that throughout the video, let you know what Almighty God is. Like the streams, the tentacles of Almighty God is in all of us. And somehow, some way, we are connected to this character. We don't know what he did, what he could have did, but you know something. And he only knows. So if somebody in his camp sees this, just know. I'm not accusing him of anything, nor saying he did anything, but just know numbers are telling us something. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what they're telling us, but they're telling us something. And we're here to discern it. So now, Antichrist is heaven bound, meaning that, for one, like I stated earlier, is he actually in prison, or is he just on vacation? Is Lucifer in his mindset right now, at peace, away from the world, away from fame, away from allegations, away from lies, deceit? Because don't forget, all media deceivers will be in prison. Shit, you never know what can happen to me in my future. That's exactly why I be telling you, I'm neither right nor wrong. But once my stuff starts going viral, once I start getting known for exposing the simulation, y'all gonna witness what's gonna happen to me in real time. I mean, that's exactly why you just gotta enjoy life, you know, because shit, I got a Gematria code too. And the thing is, if somebody was to do what I'm doing, I just know that in my best interest, I'd love to make a video on it just to see if it's true or not, but because only I would know. But like I said earlier, we don't know what these codes actually are meaning, but there's some meaning to the words that somehow, some way connect to the being. I don't know how. But my intuition just lets me know that Jew world order explained. They had to do what they had to do to certain people because for one, the biblical God is a computer brain. And the God in the Bible is Satan or Lucifer's mindset. So when we exposed Billy Carson, he wasn't wrong when he mentioned that, but him not being able to defend himself in a simulation as a simulator, we're going out bad. True rapists go to hell. Did he do it? Who knows? But somehow, some way, why does Diddy know about what you know? I've been thrown into the pit. I mean, his code is already pre-incarnated. Everything that he's going to do. Basically, I'm just giving you the blueprint to the blueprint maker. Everything that you witness, or if you go back and you study what he went through, and then the people that talk about his teachings, or the people who mimic him, watch what they're walking themselves over. A cliff. Dr. Malachi Z. York pedo code. The truth is out there. Somehow, some way, many people will still deny. And these people, they can tell you all they want about what they witnessed or what they're going through. People can come up with different stories. Either way it goes. You even being so wise is your destruction. Because for one, you cannot climb into a secret society and start saying things and think that these portals won't open for deities to send you right down to the abyss of your mind. So it's out there, but it's up to you to discern. Because for one, I'm going to keep it stacked. There is no truth out there. But the contradiction is out there. Because there is some truth in the world full of lies. You just have to find it. And then discern it for your own discerning. A human sacrifice stake bonfire. I mean, who was sacrificed at a bonfire? Who was sacrificed to get you those pyramids? How'd you get so much money to create your own part? Mormon satanic symbols. Understand as well, too. I mean, the symbolism that he had as well by even giving your energy to the Almighty Spirit. It's like any symbolism that you're doing. So as far as like, so basically anything that's a symbol. So like this right here, for example, this is a satanic symbol because it's all a symbolism of a physical structure of the ego, and the ego is in a satanic realm of its own illusion, and wisdom can become your destruction. And the thing is too, that's why when it comes down to wisdom, you have to be able to know that a fool cannot play wise, but a wise man and woman can play foolish in their foolishness. That's what keeps them wise, because they are dumb in their wisdom. That's what keeps them dumbfounded in their ways. You have to be able to play foolish in a world full of foolishness as you are awakening in your wisdom. Who opened the CERN portal? I don't know, Gematria. I guess ourselves, because these deities are an image of ourselves. I really am a double-edged sword. Don't forget those books that he made that I just showed you earlier. He speaks in a double-edged sword in his tongue, because if you speak from the tongue or you write from the mind and you intuitively talk from the spirit, you talk in a double-edged sword. Narcissistic humility. I feel like we all have these. We all have. Cause the thing is too, could be lies, but there are many people who mimic him to where they do this thing. They act like they get arrested. They create this whole different Jewish media programming, because don't forget what our media is funded by. And on top of that too, you gotta understand as well that many people who are narcissists, they want the attention on them 24/7, to the points where they want to be humiliated through their traits. I don't believe in narcissists, but I believe in the traits or the act of the title. Ray, satanic mind control. I don't know who Ray is, but satanic mind control. Somehow, some way, this character connects to the industry that he was walking into, and he was under mind control. Time is a man-made construct. I do believe that, because for one, time does not matter, but what you do within that time period is what matters in the construct of what man and woman made in their mind. Reincarnate to eternal death, meaning no matter what, this deity will always incarnate or reincarnate into what they're going through, as far as like being in prison, going through Hollywood programming, becoming the head of intelligence agencies. Basically, even Truman Show goes viral. So it's like, I mean, and somebody, whoever supports Malachi Z will probably be like, nigga, you know what the fuck you talking about? Probably bashing, not to speak that into existence, but you can't get mad at me because this shit add up, nigga. How you mad at me? Anyways, Become the head of intelligence agencies. I mean, this deity, this being has been here for so long. For even to be speaking about enlightenment in general, you have to have been here for eons before the simulation had 2024 years marked upon the beastly mindset. Now, the being reincarnated to eternal death. That means to me that this character, for whatever it did, that there's some karmic things going on from the Hydra mindset, the hive mindset of the Almighty Creator, that this character will always be put into damnation. But become head of intelligence agencies. We don't know what text he's getting, but just know this character is getting text from some illumination. Some illumination. Hollywood programming, like I said earlier too, even with this right here, like when the cops showed up and all that. This is all programming from these media outlets because you don't climb the higher ranks. Once you climb the higher ranks of being like this, a 33rd manifesting mindset, you're holding secrets that the society would never climb to. You think they wouldn't take down the skull and bones manifester? Like, get real with yourself. Because for one, no one wants the truth. Because what is it? Truman Show goes viral. And thing is too, we live in it. And it goes viral every single day. Which I feel like too, this video will go viral because I am exposing the Truman Show actor that is actually keeping people's minds stuck in the past of his future. Because his mind is trapped in the past. Because he was programmed by the illusion of what they were funding his reality to be in. Because how deep is the ish iceberg? Like, it should get deep. A lot of our people are actually sent by them to infiltrate our communities, our phones, our computers, our libraries, our school systems, our political figures. They are meant to be everywhere. But how deep is that rabbit hole? For you to understand that you have to leave the flesh. Because these deities are the planets. Meaning that also Mercury, so Mercursians, Venusians, Earthlings, Martians, Jupiterians, Saturnalians, Uranians, Neptunians, Plutonians. All these different Titans have their own version of the Almighty Creator, or basically the Elohim. So all these Elohim are the Titans of the planets. And two, when you have the Sun and you have Pluto and beyond that, those are still as above, so below configurations of the Almighty, because the Almighty is titanic in all different versions of these planetary realms that are outside of our walls in Antarctica. They're not actual celestial bodies. They are nothing but firmaments of other lands that are named planets. They are planes of existences, not actual planets. You cannot go to them, but you can go to them if you leave Antarctica. So there are other mind-controlling experts that are controlling other terrestrial lanes. Muslim ritual sacrifices. Who do you know in these communities to where you were sacrificing people or things or even whatever you were doing to change dimensions? What were you sacrificing? Humans changing dimensions. And the thing is to even be intelligent, for you to even be aware of your consciousness, you had to actually mentally, as a being of human consciousness, you had to be able to change dimensions to even talk like this, to even embody the spirit of the Almighty Creator. And then two, like I said earlier, even with the satanic hexagrams, satanic seduction spells, how much sex were they having in his camp? What was actually going on? How many orgies were had? How many kids or how many women were taken advantage of? What's actually going on behind closed doors? So now, with this, I just wanted to show just a bunch of like, hold on. So even Malachi's visions, as you got the pyramids and stuff like that, like I said earlier too, the top of that pyramid, the thing is to, for you to even have a pyramid structured or even placed at a certain point on the ground of the mind, of our mother's mindset, you had to be able to look up and see where the other pyramid is aligned to so that you can be able to control the energy in that enclosed space. That's why I feel like he has two pyramids right here. because there are two pyramids above this pyramid and above this pyramid right here. And then to me, there's a upside down pyramid that's also controlling. Because the thing is, too, don't forget now, before the cops showed up to this establishment, he comes like the people who are in his camp and him sometimes if he does appear. But imagine how much energy he's getting as that pyramid activates from his frequency, their frequency, whatever the chants are, the people getting imported and exported, all the energy from up here from his mindset. Imagine the energy that's activating it, and then when this is activated from the ground up, now it's upside down pyramids activated from the ground up, because as whatever he's doing below is still done above. But what he did above is exactly why it's being manifested through the ego below, because the ego will slowly follow what the spirit did. But since we were in a realm of Luciferianism above, this seems like pretend like this is like the astrals or the ether. This construct above here, his spirit is going to be doing things that his subconscious mind won't be ready yet till years to come, because the subconscious mind is not able to see the scripts that the spirit is encrypting into its DNA before the identity of Lucifer's ego comes down from descendants. So pyramid to align here, pyramid to align here. You activate that from the ground up, boom, the ground up, that illusion, because those beings that he's working with will still, they'll still be able to do what they do and act in their script above the simulation here and just be upside down, just like inside of our earth as well. Once you activate that, you are now able to control all of the energy around this space. You can control and do what you want, say things, do things, act in certain ways, because they look at you as a god incarnated. When you obtain a lot of secrets and you're able to obtain an image or even status and notoriety in society, people will bash the beings that we deem as figures, but they don't actually know the figure behind the society that they are living in because of the vision that they are living in, or Lucifer's vision, my fault. But yeah, I mean, the universal lessons of the Masonic laws, and the secret degree and studies of EA into the Apprentice. And then we also have the Book of Light, and don't forget that Hydra though, and then Malachi Visions. But other than that though, it's basically in this teaching. I really just, so yeah, hopefully that answered those two questions as far as like a Malachi Z York teaching. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in to another video. And like I said earlier with the disclaimer, I'm neither right nor wrong, and I am not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to send anybody down to their own demise. All I'm here to do is just answer the people's questions, because people want to know about who they're worshiping, who they're idolizing. What our people do for money is very sad. And my own interpretation from my own teaching is that what I'll say is this. Spiritually, how I feel about Malachi Z. York, there is no way for me to feel about the image that I know is not actually physically here. Because spiritually, I understand that Malachi Z. York is just observing the script that is going to have allegations on him. Depending on if it's true or not, or if it's false, that depends on his choices. I'm not physically able to be with him to determine if he's doing these certain things, but in Gematria, all I know is the one thing that got me, besides the simulation talk and Luciferianism talk, this is an identity, so it's not even a real person. Like, I know that his name, whatever name that his mom or dad gave him, whatever he gave himself, he's identifying his spirit, but his spirit has no identity. So he's literally identifying his ignorance. I don't partake in ignorance, but I'm lying to you by saying that while talking ignorantly. It's amazing how consciousness can help you understand somebody in a brotherhood. But you have to be able to see the people for who they are, because they are test subjects. They're calculated hosts. They're meant to kill the soul. Masonic secret. These secret societies will keep secrets from you. Google is Satan. Literally, Google is the ego. Slave traders. These signs come from Lucifer's mindset. This simulation is a game. So how are you playing it? Evil society. Stop the fraud act. Are you actually in prison, or are you actually taking people's money as you claim you're in prison? What did you do to get those pyramids on your land? What did you do to get your books sold for centuries? Are you actually? What did you do to create a false narrative from Hollywood programming? How are you controlling reptilian mindsets? What society are you in? Skull and Bones, how close are you with them? And what sacrifice did you make for the cabal? And who's possessing your mindset? If God's a slave, would it be you, Malachi, or your camp, or anybody that follows him? The son of Lucifer. I mean, why are you a spy for Jesuits? Why would you work with them to spy on them? And if you didn't know, that would make sense. But if you knew and you kept going, you are the son of those fraternities and sororities. This is a glitch your whole life, and your light is a lie. But you made a book about that light. Leviathan's name, you talked about it in your book because numbers do speak. So you were exposing your script, but you didn't expose your frip. You didn't expose your script completely. But you are a simulation slave because you let money control your ego. And then you were too busy wanting wisdom and knowledge, so you climbed the ladder and killed yourself for it. Fractalized angels, so you are literally a fractalized demonic program. Gematria is proof. But is that proof real? Crucified woman. I mean, what did you do? Who would you sacrifice to get to where you are? I mean, most divine beings don't just get arrested just for being divine beings. Those things, like when you become famous, you start saying some shit, but you're actually getting caught doing some shit, even though there may not be physical proof, but if somebody's actually physically seeing you as somebody you work with, for one, if our police force, the higher ups, the higher force, if they're part of the secret societies as well, the get down, if this nigga's with them as well, what makes you think the enemy or the oppressor would arrest the oppressor? When they work together to do the exact same thing or one mission to control your mind. That makes no sense to me. So really ask yourself about this shit. Very simple, literally. Hell is this nigga's home. Black man idiocracy. It means that this simulation is his home. Because look at how people treat him in this simulation, like he's a god. Our people are living in idiocracy, if you look closely. Jesuit order, Skull and Bones, Jesuit spy, money. I mean, that shit runs like more power, more money, more women, more information, more knowledge. Is that not life for God? But where are you though? Are you actually locked up? Illuminator, a lesson learned. Stop all that lying. The illusion, Skywalkers, a lot of sex, decode, open third eye. God killed Satan, famous people. He knows many famous people. But what did they do to protect him as he rises? Root of bad evil. We are all coming from the root of these fallen deities. Almighty God is a fallen angel. That's exactly why when they talk about the story of Jesus or whatever the case may be, or Yeshua, that story is really about the Almighty Observer observing a physical projection of a hologram our people believe was real. And it was an observation of the spirit. So the deity was never here, but people thought that it was here by the way it was talking. But who copied who? Did God copy Satan or did Satan copy God? What's the difference? But other than that though, hopefully you took a lot of notes. Hopefully you learned something new from this teaching. I really appreciate y'all for tapping into another video. And if I offended you in this video, just know that was my goal. I love you so much. Have a great day, God and Goddess.